Onto this now. For 3 years, his family wondered what happened to Emmanuel. He was a 51-year-old father of 5 from Brakpan. And then details emerged at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. You remember when Witness D said he and other Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department police officers were forced to dump the body of the suspect in a dam? He was found a day later with his car keys and his driver's license still in his pocket. Marius van der Merwe, of course, was brutally murdered last week outside his family home, implicated himself in that evidence and spoke only of the suspect. But for the Mbense family, they finally had answers to what had happened to their Emmanuel. And so they've approached AfriForum's private prosecutions unit to try and get answers from authorities whom they say have continued to look the other way. The communications for the unit is Barry Bateman, who's a familiar voice on this station. Barry, it's always a pleasure to chat to you. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, only a pleasure, Bongani. Good morning.
Talk to me about the details surrounding this case. The Mbense family approached your unit after van der Merwe's testimony. What were their main concerns and why did they come to your office?
So van der Merwe testified on the morning of 14 November. And, just to give it back there, for 3 years, the Mbense family has been asking first the SAPS and then IPID for answers on what's happening in the case. And they were simply told that arrests are imminent. Arrests are, they're coming, things are happening. But that never happened. They had very little communication with IPID. Then on the morning of 14 November, an IPID investigator called Mr. Mbense's brother and said, details are going to emerge. And they witnessed and they heard for the first time the details of how this man was tortured, murdered, and dumped in a dam. It was then clearly they were fed up that they got hold of our office. And 4 days later, on 18 November, we had our first consultation with the family and we took on the case. What they're asking for, and there's 2 things that we've written to IPID about. And the first is we want a comprehensive and detailed update on the status of the case. This story of things are happening, expect arrest soon is simply unacceptable for a family that has been yearning for answers. Secondly, we want to understand why the long delay in enrolling this matter. Mr. van der Merwe himself testified and he confirmed that he admitted to his role in torturing Mr. Mbense. While he says he had no role in the murder, he does admit as well to dumping Mr. Mbense's body in a dam. So you had a 204 witness who also did a pointing out. He testified himself that in early 2023 already, he took investigators and the police from the LCRC, the record center and the forensics, not only to the house, but to the dam where the body was dumped. So they had all of this evidence. But here we sit. The case is no further, and we demand an explanation for why that matter was not enrolled.
I'd imagine there are some questions to be raised here about IPID and delays and other authorities, as they've just pointed out, because after all this time, why would a case like this not be enrolled in court, and what might that mean for public trust?
You're absolutely right, Bongani. It's deeply concerning. And this aspect of having a 204 witness that was on the scene directly implicates other parties and implicates himself in this most heinous crime, and the police don't act immediately. I mean, there's a lot of talk about the safety of witnesses. Well, if the police or IPID had reacted soon, the matter would have been heard in a process within the criminal justice system. The accused, possibly the 204, would appear in court. And the court then, through the prosecutors and the court itself, would be empowered to exercise its authority in terms of the various legislation to ensure the safety of witnesses of all parties related to the criminal proceedings. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. So we need to get an understanding of why this. Sorry, go for it.
No, I was going to say, what are the next steps? I mean, can the NPA still try and take this matter away from AfriForum's private prosecutions unit? What are the next steps?
Well, let's be clear here. We are representing the family to try and get answers from IPID. We are not close to the stage of proposing a private prosecution. This matter is still with IPID. The matter needs to be presented, or it might have already be presented to a prosecutor in order to enroll it so that the NPA can proceed with the case.
All right, appreciate your time. Barry Bateman, there's the communications manager for AfriForum's private Prosecution's unit. What does it say to you that the Mbense family ultimately had to turn to AfriForum to try and get the answers? But more importantly, as I think Ugogo Aubrey Majiku always points out, there are no heroes and villains in some of these stories, or at least I think his term is that there are sometimes angels with horns and devils with halos, because, of course, nobody deserves to be killed in the way that Marius van der Merwe was killed in front of his wife and children. But certainly, Emmanuel Mbense did not deserve to be tortured and had his body dumped in a dam either.
Current events, developing stories,
tough questions.
Your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.